Today we will speak about the sin of Adam. Some people ask why so small a sin, small mistake can conduct to so big trouble on the earth, for not only for Adam and his family but also for all the humankind, even leading to people to death. So we'll try to answer this question through some verses of the Bible. First, some points we know very well, but just we have to keep in mind. Romans chapter 5 verse 12 explains that the sin come into the world through one man. It is written, in fact, wherefore, as by one man sin entered into the world, and death by sin, and death passed upon all men, for that all have sinned. So it's because the sin or the fault of Adam appeared that the death came also on the earth. So sin is death, like it is written in 1 Corinthians chapter 15, verse 55. The sting of the death is sin, and the strength of sin is the law. So if there is a law, there is a sin. If there is no law, there is no sin and no death. So the question is why God provided the law. We can understand. First, for Adam, we know there was a law, because God says, you, Adam, cannot touch this fruit. If you touch this fruit, you will die. So this was a law given to or provided to Adam. And he broke the law, and so he sins, and he died, and all the humankind with him. But where there is no law, there is no sin. So why the law? The law teaches us what is the sin. It's why also God not only gave a law to Adam, but also to his people, the Jewish people. Through the law, the people of Israel, and not only the people of Israel, but all humankind learned what was the sin. What was the consequence also of the sin? We know through the Bible that there is two kinds of sins. 1 John chapter 5 verses 16 explain to us in these just few words, if any man says his brother sin a sin which does not lead to death, he shall ask, and he shall give him life for those who commit sin not leading to death. But he carry on. There is a sin leading to death. I do not say that he shall pray for it. So in this verse there is two kinds of death, of sins. The first one leading to death, and the second one not. So this is what we learn through the Bible and through the law given by God. In fact, as we understand, the law was given to humankind to learn what is the sin and its consequences. In Romans chapter 5, verse 13, it is written, but sin is not imputed to when there is no law. And again, in the chapter 5 and verse 20 this time, moreover, the law entered that the offense might abound. That means that the offense will be revealed. Paul explained just few chapter after, verse 7, nay, I had not known sin, but by the law. For I had not known lust, except the law as I had said, you shall not covet. So through the law, we learn what is the sin and what are these consequences. Happily, God let the sin coming into the world, but after He provide the mean to erase the sin. It is written, for example, in Acts chapter 7, verses 16, and speaking about Stephen, and he kneeled down and cried with a loud voice, Lord, lay not this sin on their church. Here, Stephen speaks about the people that stoned him, but in fact, this verse is only applied upon people asking for forgiveness. That means us, as a Christians. Even if we have sinned against God, we can be forgiven if we ask for forgiveness. Because it is written in Acts chapter 10, all the prophets gave to Jesus witness that through his name whosoever believes in him shall receive a remission of sins. Like we said just before, where there is no law, there is no sin. It's why God take away the law of Moses, that the sin disappear. Hebrews chapter 8, verse 12, quote these words, For I will be merciful to their unrighteousness, and their sins and their iniquities will I remember no more. And in Romans chapter 6, For sin shall not have dominion over you, for you are not under the law. The fact that God take away the sin that not mean that we can carry on sinning. At the opposite. Because we have learned what is the sin and its consequences. Never we want to sin again. In conclusion, the sin of Adam permitted for us to understand how such a small sin, a small fault of disobedience could lead such a great evil. So we must absolutely become mature people, understanding that we have to follow very strictly the law of God. People who observe or respect the smallest commandment of the Bible. I would just give you an example. Some Christians treat the lie like if it was nothing. They say, oh, I can lie. A small lie, it is not very important, and God will forgive me. But if we compare the lie as a fruit of Adam, we can understand that it is nothing. That sin, this sin, the lie, in fact, is very important. Maybe we can take the lie in our hand, and some people can say to us, oh, it's nothing, you can test it. But for just one fruit, and the sin, the lie, is one fruit. For just one test, we can lose eternal life. Never consider that a small fruit, a small sin is something not important. The smallest commandment of God is very important, and we have to follow it. And in the kingdom of God, we will improve our obedience to God in the smallest part. So the sin of Adam was put before us to understand that we have to follow even the smallest commandment of God.